Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Sarvadevaya Namaha. Om Jai Shri Ram. Hello, welcome back everyone, and thank you for listening to my last video. Let's move on to part 4, which is the last part of this chapter, chapter 4, part 4. I was too shocked to take in fully the meaning of Mata's word. When I turned my head, I saw Soma standing nearby with the basket of medicinal plants, and my mind turned to my aching ankle. I again became aware of the pain. Mata saw this and took the plants from Soma. She pounded the plants with a stone, squeezing out every bit of oil. And then she had Soma apply the oil to my aching ankle. Now you must stay off your feet. If you apply this ointment every few hours, in a few days you will be much better. Then turning to Soma, she asked her to go back to the palace and see if she could find Kiran. Ask him to come quickly, she said. Then turning to me, she said, do not resist, Meenakshi. Kiran can help you back to the palace. But, Mata, see, I can stand. I tried to raise myself, but fell back. My foot was unable to bear any weight. Will you disobey me? She asked in surprise. I shook my head. Then, you must stay off your feet, at least for today. Before long, Soma arrived with Kiran. When he saw my state, a look of alarm crossed his face. She will be fine, Kiran. Do not worry. But you must carry her back to her room. She is not to put any weight on her foot until tomorrow at the earliest. And Soma, you must continue to rub the ointment on her ankle throughout the rest of the day. I drew back as Kiran tried to lift me. Never had I been touched by a man other than my father, and I resisted. I gazed in shock at Mata, who whispered to me, It is only Kiran. That is why I called him. He is well known to you, like a brother. Do not resist. By tomorrow you will be much better. As we were leaving, Mata sat down again in the spot where she had meditated through the day and night. Mata, Soma protested, aren't you coming? You have not eaten since yesterday morning. Mata smiled. Do not worry, Soma. I will not disappear again. But I need a few minutes here, alone, before I return. I won't be long. Her face grew serious. Soma still hesitated to leave her, but Mata nodded, indicating that we should leave. I will soon follow, she said. We could not but obey, and so reluctantly we returned to the palace without her. True to her word, Mata appeared shortly in the palace. Something had shifted in her. We could see, but I could not pay much attention, as I was so distracted by what she had revealed to me. Soma saw me to my room, where I sat alone, reviewing my childhood. The many incidents that now were made clear, remarks of my father that now made sense. It was painful to realize that I was the descendant of a cursed man, a man who had committed a most egregious deed. And I realized how few Maharajas would have taken in a cursed family. Had it not been for the generosity of the Janak family, what would have happened to us? A few hours later, Soma came to apply the medicine and found me in a sorry state. Tears had overtaken me, and I could not hide my red, swollen eyes and disheveled appearance. Meenakshi, she exclaimed, are you still in pain? I shook my head. I didn't know how much of my conversation with Mata she had overheard, and so didn't know how to explain my condition. The more I reflected on Mata's words, the more the import of her words had hit me. My family had been under a curse. My ancestor had committed a great misdeed for which my grandfather, my father, and I had to pay. Meenakshi, she asked gently, is it because of what Mata told you? I nodded. Did you overhear? Yes, I heard some of it. Surely you know that everything Mata does is for a reason. If she has told you this, there is a greater purpose. Perhaps it is to understand that this curse can be viewed as your greatest blessing. If your ancestors had not been cursed, your family would not have been taken in by the Janak family, and then you would not have come under the protection of Janak Baba. If your father had not lived with this curse, he would not have asked Janak Baba to look after you, and most likely you would not be serving Mata. Is there any greater blessing than to serve her? I shook my head and wiped my tears. You are right, Soma. Since childhood, I have been told about some misfortune that visited my family. Now I understand. Mata did right to explain this to me. I don't fault my father for keeping this secret, as he was a proud man, and it would have insulted his dignity to reveal this to me. And you are so right. I cannot complain about the turn my life has taken. There is no greater blessing than to serve in this household, and to serve Mata is the greatest gift anybody could want. We were both quiet. Then I said, so much has happened today that I don't understand. Yes, that is true. Mata has entered a new chapter, and we will be the witness to that. But it is a wonderful development. Do you not see the light that emanates from her now? Her whole being radiates. I laughed. Soma, you see what others can't see. Now it was Soma's turn to laugh. Meenakshi, do not tell me that you have not noticed the upturns that accompanies Mata. Have you not observed how the flowers multiply along the path that she takes? And how the fruits on the trees increases in her presence? This is part of the mystery of Mata. I shook my head. Only you have eyes to see this, but I trust your vision. It is through you that I know something of what Mata is. Meenakshi, she is Prakriti, nature herself in human body. It is who she is. Where she is, nature flourishes. When her energy is withdrawn, nature diminishes. This will become more apparent now. I smiled. Among us all, only you understand her, Soma. I cannot, but I can serve her and love her, and I am content with that. Mata did indeed seem to take on a new air after that night in the forest, one that is hard to describe, as if a new maturity flourished in her. Some weeks later, I was in room of Sunainama, putting away her personal items when Janak Baba entered. I waited for a sign that I should leave, but none came, and so I carried on with my work. For some time with Sunainama had been assisting Janak Baba with his governing responsibilities, and she had been passing on this knowledge to Mata with much success. One never knew when Janak Baba would retreat to the forest for an extended time, and in his absence, someone had to carry out the affairs of the kingdom according to his wishes. Sunainama recognized Mata's intuitive wisdom and often sought her advice. Mata took an interest in everything pertaining to the kingdom and participated in much of the decision making, offering her innovative and creative ideas. On this day, however, Janak Baba sought to prepare Sunainama for Mata's approaching departure. We must begin to think of organizing a Swayamvar as Sita is approaching marriageable age, said Janak Baba slowly, knowing he would meet resistance. Sunainama gave him a look of disapproval. Why the hurry? She asked. Her training is now complete. I feel she is ready. But I am not, protested Sunainama. Will you ever be? You are just setting up the village councils. Let her be part of that and learn. Then we can consider it, she pleaded. You have a good point, conceded Janak Baba. We will move quickly to set up the village councils, but you and I must prepare ourselves because I feel the time for her departure is approaching. As Janak Baba was retreating more and more from governing, he had the idea to set up local councils in each village so that the villagers could take care of many local matters by themselves. It was a novel notion which at first had been met with disapproval from the ministers. But Janak Baba was insistent. I heard him say repeatedly that people must learn to govern themselves. But they are not ready, was the frequent response. Then we must help them be ready. It is the way of the future. People must learn to administer the affairs of their community. Even the hermitages were not pleased with the idea. At one gathering of heads of hermitages, the discussion turned to this matter. During a heated moment, Janak Baba turned to Sita and asked her opinion. Soma and I were standing by the doorway waiting to bring in evening meal. Sita was quiet and thoughtful. Then she said, until now, justice has often been administered through the sages, through their blessings and curses. That cannot continue, she said with a touch of sadness in her voice. Too many innocents have been affected. Surely we can find another way. These councils can help administer justice. Sita realized that this would diminish the power of sages. Their curses kept people in fear of them, and so she added, fear is not the way to justice. I think a fairer way is to let the people decide the best means of dealing with a misdeed, and let those who have misstepped have a chance to redress their wrongs. That is most important. A curse cannot be undone, but a punishment can be reversed if someone shows true remorse and an earnest desire to correct oneself. Rarely did any of the sages object to anything Mata said, but on this occasion they rose in protest, with only a few exceptions. Janak Baba intervened and spoke sternly to them. I agree fully with Sita, but perhaps society is not yet ready for this. Let us begin by trying to organize these councils, giving each village some limited responsibility for its local affairs. This will be a beginning. He assured the ministers and head of the hermitages that their authority would not be weakened by this new arrangement. The ministers would have to oversee the new councils, and the hermitage would still set the moral tone for the society, at least for the moment. The power of the curse would remain in place. Thank you. Jai Shri Ram. Today we have completed Chapter 4. Chapter 5 will be Sita's marriage. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Please let me know whether you are liking this or not. Thank you. Bye bye.